Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Show Me Show podcast for episode 96. We've got a in-person show today. Both of us together again. We've got not too much going on. We have the Celtics advance to the finals with the sweep over the Pacers. Minnesota and the T-Wolves are still playing Dallas, and then Cardinals, they might be back. We got Tough Scene of the Week, Say Hello, Kiss It Goodbye, and a few other things as well. And one final message from a special guest as he encloses on his new challenge coming this Saturday. So we'll go ahead and just get on into everything right here, right now.
Special big tough scene this week.
Huge tough scene this week as well. But yeah, so Celtics, they swept the Pacers. Every single game was pretty close. Kind of reminded me of that Lakers Nuggets series from last year, the Western Conference Finals, where every single game was really good, but the Nuggets inevitably swept the Lakers. Some call it the closest sweep of all time. This one was also very good. Every game was pretty sweet. The Pacers led and significantly in the first three games and lost all three of them, and then also collapsed in Game 4 without Halliburton again. I don't know. I mean, they get to one thing that's crazy about this is they get to rest up until June 6th, which sucks as a basketball fan because that is good ways away, well over a week. And Jaylen Brown actually won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He was the best player in that series by far. And also they were just the best team hands down in the East all year. So, I mean, that's why they swept. They only lost, 2 games during the playoffs?
Yeah, once during the Heat and once during to the Cavs. And both of them were game 2. So I guess we'll see how that plays in the finals. But
so, yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure how to feel. Like, if they get Kristaps back, maybe they can. I don't know. I think they're favorable in both the matchups. I think they really are. If it was the Nuggets, would I be saying that? No, but the Nuggets got knocked out. So and you play who you play. Some people were knocking the Celtics that they really haven't played anybody this playoffs with, which is 1, not their fault. 2, true, and 3, all the teams that they've beaten, they actually have had good players, but they've all been hurt. So once again, not really their fault.
Yeah, it's definitely not their fault for sure. And you play who you play. And honestly, in the NBA, like in the Western Conference, I think I said this at the beginning of the playoffs, that whoever comes out of it is just going to be beaten up and torn down. Like it's probably going to be the Mavs because they were up 3-0 and no team's ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. But I mean, they've had their fair share of battles between the Clippers, and the Thunder was an absolute battle. And now the Timberwolves, maybe, I mean, it's been a battle every game, even though the Mavs kind of do win. That is what I thought was going to be more like the Nuggets and Lakers like series last year. You were talking about every game's close. That's like every game in that series has come down to the wire, and the Mavs have just been a little bit better. The Wolves hung on for Game 4. I don't know if they can. I mean, they might be able to pull out a Game 5 win, but I don't see a Game 6 win after that. So I don't know. Yeah, it's probably going to be Mavs and Celtics, and I do think the Celtics take it. I think it'll be a battle. I think the Mavs definitely, get some games, but I think it's just the Celtics year. They have more depth than any team in the NBA. They have 2 superstar players, even though, they kind of play soft at times, but that's my prediction. I think that they're just going to run the table here and get their finals at last.
Yeah, so we'll just jump over to the Minnesota thing. Obviously, they won Game 4, another very close game. Derek Lively was out for that game after he had that neck injury in Game 3. Luckily, it wasn't a concussion for him, and he's been one of the key pieces for them. His plus-minus is the best in the playoffs, off the chart, so they miss him, that's for sure. And I do agree with what you said. I think Minnesota could actually win Game 5. Like, they just have that fight in them. So I could see them pushing it to 6, maybe even 7, but I still have the Mavs winning the series. But you just have to tip your cap to the masterclass performance too by Scott Foster in Game 4, the extender, if you will. So that's his job, and he got the job done. But yeah, if it is Cavs and Mavericks, I or not Cavs, sorry, Celtics and Mavericks. I in my brain says to pick the Celtics because they're having such a great year, but Luka is telling me to pick the Mavs. He has just been so dynamite these playoffs, and I don't know. I mean, nobody has anybody to stop him, but the Celtics really don't have anybody to stop Luka. And if it is that series as well, I mean, we'll have the Leprechaun and Kyrie situation going on as well. There'll be some bad blood there, which should be interesting because Kyrie has been pretty even keeled ever since he got to Dallas with Jason Kidd. So that would kind of spark that up again, which might be interesting to see for the finals.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely for sure. Like Kyrie's kind of always been known as this guy to be weird, and he is weird. He's a weird fellow, but he's also one of the best basketball players that I think we've ever seen. When it comes to ball handling, I don't think there's anyone better. And he's a great shooter as well. And now that he's finally got that kind of tamed down, the weird side of things, and I was listening to an interview with Rachel Nichols this week, and she was saying that, just the respect that he has for Jason Kidd has really helped, him just to find his role on this team and not to, what was the term that she used? It was like, don't stir the pot if it's not boiling or something like that. So I thought that was interesting that he's kind of just like, he's maturing and, he's really settling into his role here. And it's going to be interesting going back to Boston because the fans hate him, obviously. He's kind of like the Ben Simmons of Boston, honestly. Like, maybe not quite to that level. I don't think the fans...
I don't know. They hate him. They hate him, and Kyrie does not like them either.
Yeah, but like, if Ben Simmons like encountered a Philly fan on the street, they might be inclined to kill him, honestly. Like, they hate him that much.
Also, Boston is just extremely racist, so they might be inclined to kill him too.
Do it with a sheet over their head, probably. Yeah.
No, that's valid. So yeah, I think I am hoping for Mavs Celtics, but obviously, who would not want to see a team come back from a 3-0 deficit? That would be really cool. That's never happened before. 155-0 are teams that are up 3-0 in the NBA playoffs. Probably not going to happen, but would be cool.
Yeah, I think it was like plus 1,000 for the Wolves to come back, which
that's not even that bad. Only,
yeah, for something that's never happened before, I think that's terrible odds. But
yeah, I feel like it should be at least 2,500. I don't know. All right, that cleans up the NBA pretty quickly. Cardinals. They might be back.
Quote from The Hangover: "We are back, baby."
To 500.
Yeah, but like we're just also back to playing good baseball. Like whenever I watch the games, I don't want to rip out my eyeballs anymore. So I mean, I'm still out in terms of like winning the World Series. Like I'm not buying in that much, but I am buying into watching the games again and just having fun. And if that's what they give me this year, I'll be fine with it. I'll take it. We've been getting some good performances from some guys that maybe you wouldn't expect, like Andre Palante today through 6 shutout innings, very surprising. A lot of the guys in the bullpen, like John King, has been really good recently. Kyle Leahy has been really good, and then obviously the big three, Ramiro, Kittredge, and Helsley, have kept doing their thing, even though Kittredge and Helsley have kind of been a little shaky their last couple outings, but. And then, on the offensive side, like Burleson is playing out of his mind. Mason Wynn he's a superstar. Like he is a superstar. And that's kind of crazy to say considering he has like 2 home runs this year. But every other part of his game is hitting at the maximum. He's got an 18-game hitting streak right now.
Did he extend it today?
Yeah. Okay. I think he was on base like 3 or 4 times today. He's got the second longest rookie hitting streak in Cardinals history, behind only Stan Musial, which is widely regarded as the greatest Cardinal ever, other than maybe Albert, but he broke Albert's streak too. So, that's the type of company that we're in right now with Mason Wynn. And, he's just electrifying the lineup, whether he's leading off, whether he's at the end of the lineup, it doesn't matter. He's doing something every game to contribute and driving in runners. Goldschmidt's starting to come alive too. He was dead. He was a corpse. He was an absolute corpse. And he's starting to pick up his game a little bit, which he usually does. Usually it's a couple weeks earlier than this, but always around mid-May is when you start to see the real Goldschmidt come out. So I really don't know why that is, but it just is that way. Back to 500 going into the Phillies this weekend, so that'll be interesting. But the Phillies are in a little bit of a slump right now. They've lost 4 out of their last 6 games, so maybe we caught them at the right time. You never know.
Yeah, I think maybe besides the Orioles, but I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we've been able to take advantage. Like, if you're going to try and get back on track, this stretch of games that we've been in was the time to do it. Some lesser opponents, and you just said we're getting ready to take on another series here where, they're kind of down right now, so that could really help out too to continue this momentum. And over to Paul Goldschmidt, this is just a theory. Because we talked about this earlier, a couple episodes ago, how Paul, even during his MVP season, like, he always just has this really slow start. I think as he's getting older, for some reason, each year now, he's just pushing it back like 2 weeks every single year when he comes alive. So this year it was pushed back another 2 weeks. Next year, we're going to be all the way into June being like, Jesus Christ, Paul, you're so old. And then he's just going to come alive probably like, I don't know, maybe June 4th or something like that.
Well, funny you bring that up because next year he's not going to be a Cardinal, so it's not going to be our problem.
True, but it will probably still hold.
That's a good take for sure. And also that stretch, like you said, it keeps getting longer every year. It's also getting worse. Like, in the past, it's like he's a league average hitter, maybe slightly below average. And this year he was like, he should have been optioned probably if he wasn't like who he was. He would not even been on the roster. That's how bad he was playing. But yeah, he's back. He's contributing again. So that's good to see. I don't know. I think it's 12 out of 15. So 12-3 since Ali got ejected. When he complained about really nothing, just like he was just mad that the umpires were missing calls and they would have to challenge him. That's really all he was mad about. And he got ejected. But I don't know if you saw, Cam, but he texted Adam Wainwright after that game when Ali got ejected against the Brewers, and he said, "We're going to win this division." So, once again, just classic corny Cardinals, I think, honestly, texting Adam Wainwright, of all people, that we're going to win the division, because they're probably not, but it's good to have the confidence, at least. If you don't think you can win the division, then
that's
then
like
you really can't.
Texting dead Kobe Bryant, I got you.
It's not on that same level. It is not even close to that. That is corny. The guy's dead. He's not going to respond. At least like Adam Wainwright, it's like, oh, he was close with this, everyone on this team. He's still there, probably, talking to the guys frequently. Jason Tatum texted a dead guy and said, "I got you." And did not. Yeah, and he didn't get him. Oh, my God. I cannot believe that. I still can't believe that to this day. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, not to be like a Debbie Downer or anything, but last year, Jordan Walker, I believe, also had a 17-game hit streak. Just a year ago?
To start the year.
Just 1 year ago, by the way. And I'd have to go back and find the episode, but I believe you also said that Jordan Walker is a real-life superstar. And that didn't work out yet. I'm not saying
he's still young. He's still young. He's just struggling right now.
But
I still believe in him. I have his bobblehead. I have his jersey. I still believe in him. I have to.
But to be fair to Win, he did break 17. Maybe that's just a part of it. because Pujols, Walker, and Wynn were all stuck at 7, or we're all at 17, and he broke through.
Well, I mean, Pujols and Walker were both stuck at 17, and Pujols turned out okay. So, I mean, if that's the qualifications for it, I think Walker, you just have to wait. You just have to be patient here. I don't want to turn into Mozeliak, but just be patient. So, yeah, that's about all I have on that. I didn't check your notes on this. They might be bad.
Yeah, and then Jake says Jake told me I'm still out on the Cardinals. I told him that. He says I'm not invited to the parade, so just mark that down. You know, if the Show Me Show ends up taking a trip to the World Series parade this year, I can't go. So
I don't think we're going to take a trip all the way out to L.A. for the victory parade, but I guess we can see. So
yeah. All right. So I guess we'll just move into tough scene of the week here.
Yeah, I think it's about time, considering if people are watching on the YouTube, they just see a big-ass cast on Cam's hand.
It's not that big now. I mean, it was way worse.
I know, but, like, it's still visible. So I feel like we have to talk about that.
Oh, definitely. So, yeah, I'll just start off. Almost been a week now. 5 days now. But last Friday, after work, I immediately went to the gym to go play basketball. And we were in the middle of a game. And it was it was going to be a photo finish here. You know, it was 13-10. And we're going full speed all the time. And the ball was coming into the lane, into the lane pass. And I stuck my arm like in the passing lane, and my pinky was extended, and my pinky pretty much punched my friend's shoulder blade at full speed, pretty much like I was punching a wall, but just with my pinky extended, and the force from my pinky completely ricocheted, and the bone shot right back through my pinky. And luckily my tendon saved my pinky from breaking, and didn't let the bone go all the way through my pinky. But I did have a major dislocation of my pinky, which doesn't sound like a big deal. Even when I say it today, it doesn't sound like a big deal.
Yeah, you're right. But if you see just the picture that you took right after it happened, that looks anything but like a dislocation. Like that looks way worse than like a break even.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like with a typical dislocation, usually it's not that gruesome. Obviously, I ended up with a massive laceration that needed 3 stitches too in the pinky. And my finger just looks like it was mutilated. It looks like a movie prop when I take off the cast. But yeah, so basically my most of my summer is kind of not going to say ruined, but I can't do jack diddly squat. So no more basketball, no more no lifting. I can't put any force on my pinky at all for at least, she said it might start to feel normal, hopefully in 6 weeks, might start to feel normal. As of right now, it's just basically today was the first day I was able to take everything off of it and like get it wet and get it in the shower, whatever. And it's still, the nerves are still all screwed up to where like it just feels like a fuzzy finger, and it's just numb and everything like that. So pretty crazy. Just sucks. I shredded everything in my pinky except for my tendon. My tendon saved the day, which was huge because now I don't have to have another surgery. But yeah, my pinky's fucked.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, I was surprised that after all that, like there was no fracture at all.
It was crazy.
It was just like a massive, like basically like from your main knuckle and your pinky, it's just like completely halved. Like it just bent it completely around. It's a disgusting picture. I think it's on the Twitter. Is that right?
The X-ray's on the Twitter. I didn't know if I should just post the gruesome image.
Okay. Maybe we might have to with like a graphic warning or something, because I don't feel like we can put that into YouTube. That might be too graphic for YouTube. So you just have to search it out if you really want to see it. If you really want to see it. But yeah, I'd say that's definitely a tough scene. Does that overtake the my tough scene of missing my final?
I think it might, actually.
I think it does too.
Because you somehow got to make up that final. So
yeah, you're right. That's true. That's true. I think it definitely overtakes it. Looks like Edmonton is, well, you never know with Edmonton if they can win a game up 2 goals. Is it over?
No, I think it's going to the third period.
Oh yeah, second intermission. 4-2 Edmonton. All right. I don't really have a tough scene. I didn't write one down, but I guess
you can lead us into the next one if you want.
Yeah, well, yeah, my guy had a tough scene, but I'll start with a personal one. Just I got pulled over for speeding. First time that's ever happened. I did get off with a warning, so it's not really a tough scene. If I got a ticket, it would have been a tough scene for sure. But yeah, I guess I've been kind of getting out of hand with my driving a little bit, so it's nice to have a good old reminder, that the cops are out there. So it's the first time I've had an interaction with a police officer since I ran into the back of a parked car of a police officer. That like a week after I got my license. So yeah, that's a little bit of a tough scene, but so yeah, my guy Will Levis, he had a tough scene this week. There were a lot of videos that surfaced amongst the internet of him and his ex-girlfriend. I think she's a model. Is that correct? That could be fake information.
I thought she was a student at the University of Kentucky until draft night.
Yeah, well, and then she became a model. But they had some very they had videos released of them together. Can we put the link? I doubt that. Probably because the link will start with an XXX. Yeah. But
basically, they had their porn leaked. Now let's just talk about this. How does that even happen? First off, like, look, I'm not gonna shame here or anything, but first off, like, if you're that much of a power couple, why even have this on devices?
Yeah, I agree.
Now you're already leaving yourself eligible to have shit like this leaked out there, And then second of all, how does it get leaked out there?
It's pretty easy. There's a lot of technically genius people out there that are just brilliant at all this coding and hacking and stuff. And I think if you just know enough, it's pretty easy to get out there. But
I mean, what do you think they just like got into their iCloud or something like that and just probably just hacked the cloud?
Probably, unless they put it out intentionally, which I doubt that. But that's a rumor for, I guess, some people that that happens to. But I don't know about you. Like when the Drake stuff came out, I know that you saw that one. I did not. I don't know if you saw this one, but I might have. So yeah, I'll just say as a guy who has shaken the hand of Will Levis, the old saying about big hands. It's true. That's all I'll say.
That's all you have to say. But yeah, that's a tough scene for them. The next tough scene of the week. Not a tough scene for us. Tough scene for Mark Davis. Mark Davis was caught up in a viral fake pregnancy turned true pregnancy. So, Mark Davis, owner of the Raiders, kinda. His mom owns the Raiders, but he, I guess, does all the ownership stuff. 71 years old. This model that she sat in his box during one game with him, and so this was like a long time ago too. And so just because she sat in his box one time, They well, I bet he wished he wanted to sit in her box.
Yeah, I was
but,
like, just because she sat in his box, people thought that he was in her.
Yes,
box.
exactly.
Okay.
Just because she sat in his box, people thought Mark Davis was automatically in her box. But he is 71 and she is 26, and this chick got pregnant. And so people like the Dov Klymans of the world just made up an instant fake news story saying that he was the dad of this 26-year-old model's child. And which, for Mark Davis, maybe was like, hey, maybe people still think I've got it a little bit, which had to be pretty cool, I guess, for a second. And then she was basically like, ew, no, I was just in his box that one time. And it's not his kid. It's literally Joey Gallo's kid. So
Shout out Nationals.
fake pregnancy turned real pregnancy for Joey Gallo. So shout out Joey Gallo, going to be a dad.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Every time I think of Joey Gallo, I just think of that one video of like when he was on the Yankees and he's in the press conference and he just ripped the loudest fart imaginable, and then he made like the weirdest face. He was like, or something like that. But yeah, goofy fella. But yeah, he's gonna be a dad. And I know you mentioned Dove Kleiman, like
bad guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you feel about him?
He's a bad guy. He is. What's crazy about Dove Kleiman is that he is actually not that much different from the likes of Ballsack Sports or Buttcrack Sports. He will tweet real things, and then he will just make up fake shit and then also post that and try to add fake sources to make it seem like it's real. Somebody did a deep dive. He has formulated like 50 or like 60 fake news stories on his own. And he's still, like, I think associated with the NFL. Like, I think his account is Dov Kleiman NFL. I think that's his account.
I don't think he's associated in any way with the NFL. I think he's just kind of like the ML football or whatever, where it's not an official news source, but they do have sources and they post real information sometimes.
Yeah, like I said, he will post real stuff. But he also posts stuff like this that's just completely fake. He's a bad guy, I think. He's a bad journalist for sure.
Oh, yeah.
If he wants to call himself a journalist. I don't know what he calls himself.
I think it's just in today's world, like when you break sports news, it's on the Bird app. And any big time like a Woj or a Schefter, or Ian Rappaport or anybody like that, they break the news on Twitter. And that's just people kind of want to be like that. You see Antonio Brown kind of being like that too with his CT ESPN. And unfortunately, when you get guys like that are trying to get, a story like this, a lot of times they will just make stuff up to get clicks. And especially with, the way that Elon has the app set up is that like if you just get views and interactions and stuff, then you get paid for it. And, fake stories, they do it. But I think the worst part about Dove is that unlike Ballsack Sports is that he's like 100% serious with this. I don't know, like the fake stories that he puts out, I don't know if he's trying to dupe people or I don't know what the point of it is.
Yeah, he never apologizes either. No, I don't even know if he deletes it. He probably leaves it up.
Yeah, but like Ballsack Sports is just trolling. Like when they put something up, it's so like out there that like if you're in the loop, that it's just fake. He's just trying to get people.
Well, yeah,
and it's also usually harmless information.
It also says Ballsack Sports when it's tweeted out. Like this guy says Dov Kleiman NFL. So like,
yeah, but it's also like Ballsack will just do something like Derrick Rose retires, or like Rudy Gobert traded to the Grizzlies or something. He'll just like make up something that is kind of real, but also just kind of funny at the same time. Where Dove will make up stories like this where. This is serious stuff. So,
yeah. Another great one is NBA Sentinel. That one is probably the best one. Yeah. That one is
What was the thing that they had about Darvin Ham recently that I think it got Skip Bayless or one of the big journalism people?
Kendrick
Perkins.
There was one, I think, that said that the Lakers are looking into rehiring Darvin Ham. Like he was on their short list for the head coaching search, which I thought was pretty good. And get into say hello, kiss it goodbye.
I guess we can. We're kind of moving along with the show a little bit here, but or we can give a little rest in peace to Grayson Murray, PGA golfer that took his own life this weekend. It's always a very sad situation. He just very abruptly he just withdrew from the tournament all of a sudden on Friday. I don't think he was doing very good, but it was like hole 16. He only had like 2 holes left, and he withdrew reportedly with an illness. And then the next day, it came out that he had died. And then by Sunday, his family put out a statement saying that he took his own life. And he's been somebody who has like dealt with a lot of, mental health issues very openly throughout his golf career. And I think probably what he's most well known for is that one time when he like missed the putt and he like threw his putter into the lake, which is a funny clip, but it's just a sad situation. So, rest in peace to him.
Okay. Should we? What do you want to jump to?
I think we can maybe give the congratulations, maybe Ryan Horskamp.
Oh yeah. We forgot to mention this last time, but yeah, congratulations to Ryan Horskamp on he's transferring to MTSU, so pretty cool. And then also we'd like to wish good luck to Ryan Justice, Mark Hensley, Trevor Burr, and Landon Boston. They're all starting their summer workout stuff, OTAs for college. So all made right here in Washington. So we'll be ready to watch them this fall. 87 days till college football season, and I think it's 98 till the NFL, but only 87 days. So pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
3 of those guys are in the video game that's coming out this summer, and the other one's on the Cody Schrader track. So
yeah,
Truman State running back. Kind of looks like him too, a little bit low key. Kind of got the build.
Well,
the Cody
I didn't
Schrader
say
build.
he looks like him.
Well, no, he's got like the same build. Kind of a little bit smaller.
I don't know. I feel like that might be a stretch, but he could get there.
Yeah, he might be a little bigger.
Cody Schrader I don't know what Cody Schrader looked like when he got to Truman. That's for sure. I don't know, but
and then you have Baby Gronk situation on here. I don't.
Yeah, let's talk some Baby Gronk. So everybody knows Baby Gronk because he rizzed up Livy Dunn that one time. But and he's committed. I believe now is he committed to Michigan now?
I think so. Remember. He was committed to Georgia, and then I think he went to Ohio State.
Yeah,
he might have went to Alabama, but I think he's at Michigan now, and he'll probably end up going to like a D3 school, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, a deleted Baby Gronk tweet. Those are pretty rare. Usually they just leave them up. So if you don't know anything about Baby Gronk, basically this kid's dad, I think he's going to be a 6th grader this year. But anyway, this kid's dad takes him to like all this football camp stuff, arranges all these like him meeting like famous athletes, famous people, whatever. And some of these famous athletes and stuff like they are like totally up for meeting this Baby Gronk figure because now he's like super famous. So now, it's a help me help you situation. But anyway, his dad took a picture of Baby Gronk on the beach, and he was just sitting there in the sand, and behind him were 2 ladies suntanning their asses on the beach, and which, and they have like their sandy cheek situation going on, and Baby Gronk is just like throwing it up, and it's just like, what is up with this guy's dad? Like, why has nobody called CPS?
Well, I don't. There's plenty of other worse dad things to do to your kid. I'll just say that, but just imagine how awkward that conversation had to be for like because you can't just like walk up and take that picture without them knowing. So like you have to like describe this like, oh, can my
Baby Gronk is? Well, here he is. Can you be in his
you
shoot
want to be
real
in the
quick?
photo? You want to be in the cracker of the day photo so we can end up on Antonio Brown's Twitter?
Are you good if Baby Gronk just flicks up right here real quick with you guys? I mean,
Is that the blood real quick?
I mean, it's just a crazy situation. And that's all it is. It's just the Baby Gronk situation. The story continues. Like his dad just keeps. You almost wonder if his dad is doing his own bit. Like he's just trying to be crazier every single time. I don't know.
I also want to know how he got the name. Like, how did he get the name Baby Gronk?
I
Like,
don't remember. It goes back a few years. I mean, some guy just put together like this Baby Gronk mixtape of him like being good at football for his age, probably like 4th or 5th grade football. But I mean, whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I remember when there was a video of Baby Diggs coming out too.
Yeah, Baby Diggs.
Yeah. You know, we're for Baby Diggs.
Yeah,
I liked watching those videos.
Yeah, I don't mind them. What has evolved with Baby Gronk though is insane. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah. And like I said, there are plenty worse things you can do as a dad, but this is very weird behavior. Just because the one time when he, I think it was it on the Nelk podcast maybe that he went on, and they were asking the kid questions, like a 4th grader questions, and his dad wouldn't let him answer. Like his dad was answering everything for him. It was just a very awkward interview to see clips of. Yeah, it's a weird situation.
Yeah, and okay. Our last, also before we get into say hello, kiss it goodbye. Jake hot dog competition final predictions from me and Luke.
Honestly, do you want to? You just want to save that for the end of the show, and then get the statement too? Do say hello,
okay, yeah, that's fair.
Here? Okay,
yeah, we can do that. We'll move that to the end, and we'll just jump into say hello, kiss it goodbye real quick. Actually, some big say hello, kiss it goodbyes today. The first one is say hello to Titanic shipwreck voyages again. An Ohio billionaire is going on another voyage to prove that it is once again safe so that other millionaires will take the voyage down below to see the Titanic wreckage. This is interesting because this can go one of two ways. I mean, his voyage down there has the chance, some people are saying, to do the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny.
Okay, like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, if they go back down there and this thing implodes again, I mean, it's almost just like the ocean. Maybe the ocean just loves eating billionaires, which
kind of funny.
Not that bad of a thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of pro ocean. That'd be funny.
Yeah, could send the DeWitt family down in one of the submarines. But
hey, Bill, do you want to see the Titanic? I think it'd be pretty cool.
Once in a lifetime, Bill.
Yeah, Bill. You may never get this chance in your lifetime again.
So yeah, say hello to more voyages down to see the wreckage. I hope it goes well. And then the kiss it goodbye with that one is kind of a heartfelt one. We are kissing goodbye, Bill Walton and the Pac-12 with lots of love. Bill Walton passed away. What was it? I guess it was 2 days ago now, right?
Yeah.
Shocking. I had no idea that he even had cancer. You would have never have guessed the way, his energy never died when he was on the air or when people talk about meeting him and stuff like that. Just full of energy up until, the day he passed away. And like I just said, the Pac-12 played its last major sporting event.
Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night. And pretty much right after that happened, just a couple days later, Bill Walton passed away. I mean, I think the Pac-12 may have been the only thing keeping them tethered to planet Earth. And as soon as it was gone, he probably just had a couple loose ends to tie up, and he hit the road.
Yeah. It was sad because like Bill Walton is one of those guys that's just like all time positive vibes. Like anyone who's been lucky enough to be around him and have like an interaction with him has always said that it's just like he's just a ball of joy. Like he just makes your day better. And he was so interesting, but like at the same time, it was also kind of beautiful. Like just right out with the Pac-12. So I guess honestly, like those people that really wanted conference alignment, like this one's on you. Like because if the Pac-12 was still here, I bet he would still be here.
Yeah,
Honestly, he just loves the Pac-12
that's a good take.
that much. Like he just couldn't live in a world that didn't have the Pac-12.
Which I respect the hell.
Oh yeah,
out
me
of.
too, for sure. But yeah, the evolution of Bill Walton for me was very interesting because when I first started watching Pac-12 games, like during the week and stuff, I did not like him just because he was so weird, and I was like, just give me a regular announcer. And then, the more I listened to him, and the more I watched college basketball, because I would watch. I'm obviously Arizona fan, so I would watch the games midweek and on Saturday, like the late night games, and Bill Walton would be on the call a lot of times. I just got excited whenever I saw that he was on the call because I'm like, something interesting is going to happen. Like I was looking through some of my old tweets, and it was just like, oh, he just brought out a jar of peanut butter or something like that. It was like, and there, he said it's just 5 years expired, so and he would just like eat it. He would just bring so many artifacts. I guess just interesting things. I remember one time he brought like an ear of like corn, I guess it was, or like dried. I don't even know what it was, but he's like, yeah, you can use it as decoration. He's like, you can eat it or you can burn it and use it as fuel. Just he's just such an interesting fella. So yeah, it's gonna suck. I really don't know what he would have done if he would have continued to call basketball games this year. If he would have just like maybe done the Big Ten West or something like that, because that's a lot of the Pac-12
I don't
teams.
know. I feel like maybe they would have let him do like the Maui Invitational. I feel like he would have been able to do that. I think he always did the Maui Invitational, so
yeah,
he probably would have maybe continued to do that. But it's interesting that how you talk about your evolution of fandom with him. I used to be a big college basketball fan when I was much younger, and then when I started getting into football as I got older, started to watch less and less college basketball. But Bill Walton, I would always put on the Pac-12 at night games with Bill Walton, even when I was not watching college basketball very much, because you could just turn it on and not even watch the game and just listen to Bill just ramble about shit, not about the game. And it was the best. He would not be talking about the game for 70% of the game, and then he would just throw in like somebody would make a sick three or something or a huge slam, and he would just be like, "Conference of Champions," this.
yep. There's one for the Pac-12. Is Conference of Champions. But he would also like he would say stuff that didn't like pertain to the game per se, but he would also like there'd be like a player come off the bench and make a big shot, and then he'd go on like a 2-minute dialogue about like this player's backstory and like where he came from, how he was raised, how he got to this college or whatever. And it was just so interesting. I learned so much about a lot of players in the Pac-12 through him. So
yeah,
he just cared so much. So definitely a big rest in peace.
The funniest moment I ever watched Bill Walton live, I would have to say, and it's a viral one now, because he's had many others where you're just listening to him and he's just saying crazy stuff that was funny. But like where the camera was on him, the funniest one ever was definitely when he ate the candle that was on fire. I was watching that live and I just couldn't believe it. But I also could believe it because I had been listening to Bill for a while now, to where I was like, okay, yeah, he would do this, but this is on camera now this time. So like, it was pretty awesome. I'm gonna miss him. Not only going to miss the Pac-12, but I'm going to miss him doing the random late night games. But not just that. I mean, the basketball world and just the world in general lost a great guy. So
a real, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, real Bill Walton, Big Red.
Yep. All right, and then say hello here to TNT carrying college football playoff games. So obviously, I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but TNT is shifting. They're no longer going to be carrying NBA games after next year. So that means that inside the NBA, so it's a little kiss of goodbye inside the NBA on TNT, is going to be done after next year. Which, I mean, when you talk about post game shows, I mean it's top two and not two. So just always, it's one of those things like a Bill Walton game. You turn it on, you know you're going to be entertained. Like you turn on inside the NBA, you know you're going to be entertained, whether you care about what they're talking about or not. Because Charles Barkley is another one of those guys. So yeah, a little bit kiss a goodbye to that, but TNT carrying college football playoff games. I guess it's cool. I mean, I'd watch it on whatever network it was on, regardless. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'd rather have, the NBA or college football. Like if I was Turner, I don't know what I'd rather have.
Okay, but here's the thing. So college football playoff is going to be broadcasted no matter what. It's interesting that it's going to be on TNT because they don't do college football. They don't do NFL either. They don't do UFL either. What's interesting is it would be sweet though if just like during the halftime of like the college football playoff is just like if it was just the inside the NBA crew. That would be sweet. Like what if Texas is just down big, and they're just like, what do we need to see from Texas here in the second half to get back in this game? And Chuck's just like, well, if they had some of them big old San Antonio women on the defensive line, then maybe they could get back in this one. But so maybe we could look forward to that. Who knows? I mean, hell, Chuck sometimes just shows up randomly on the NHL TNT crew shows, so that would be pretty sick. I don't know if they're going to leave Turner, though. They probably will because I think they still want to work. But yeah, and then here's one thing I'll say about Inside the NBA on TNT, their show. People always talk about other companies try to replicate it. You know what I mean? Like, the NFL tries to replicate Inside the NBA on TNT by putting all kinds of personalities on their pregame shows, their halftime shows, guys like Gronk, whatever. But nobody's able to replicate it. In fact, the only show that I can think of that's even comes close to Inside the NBA in terms of I want to sit down and watch it is College Game Day, which is kind of a different thing on its own. But Coach Corso, it's like its own thing. They're different.
Especially this year with Nick Saban being on it.
Oh yeah, and Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has added some, a new spice to it. So, but that's the only one I can think of, that even comes close. So
yeah, I really think it comes down to there's just no one like Charles Barkley. I know like Kenny Smith is hilarious, Shaq's funny, Ernie Johnson has really evolved into that part too. But like, you just can't replicate Charles Barkley in any way, shape, or form. Like you can put a Gronk on set, you can put a Ryan Fitzpatrick on set, you could put a Paul Bisnett on set for the NHL, but you just can't replicate Charles Barkley. So I think wherever he goes, as long as he's still doing like post game shows, I think we'll still get the viral clips and stuff that they get. But yeah. All right, and then the last kiss goodbye here. Kissing goodbye, Angel Hernandez.
See ya, bitch.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but at the same time, he's a legend of the game. Just because of how bad. It's just like kind of like a Joe West situation. Like Joe West was not that good at his job, but he got so not good at it that he became a legend.
Yeah, he left a massive stamp on the game.
And so like it got to the point where Angel Hernandez, like anytime a bad call was made by any umpire, it's like, oh, they're taking after Angel. Like people were dressing up as a blind umpire for Halloween with Angel Hernandez on the back. So it is good for the game that he's finally going to be gone because now that's one less bad umpire in the game. But I would be lying if I said I wouldn't miss him at all.
Like, yeah, it's just like, this is what brings me to the robo-umps conversation. Because, like, without these personalities in the game, you're taking a big chunk of the personality of baseball away when you take away the guys behind the plate. I think robo umps. It's probably going to be better for the players if they do go forward with stuff like that. But taking away real life umpires from behind the plate, I just don't think you can ever do that. I think you could have robo umps and still have real life umpires behind the plate, just because you need them because it's baseball.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm anti robo ump. I think that like the challenge system is a good way. Like if it's an egregious call, you can have the opportunity to challenge it. But I agree. I think the personalities behind home plate it makes a game sometimes. Just going up, even if you're not really mad at the umpire, like Ali Marmol a couple weeks ago, just going up and yelling at somebody that might have an effect on the game. It just feels good, or being able to blame a third factor. Like if we get robo umps, who are we going to blame? Like in the playoffs,
you just sliced about 50% of water cooler talk between guys in the United States. You take away umpires, what the hell are we going to argue and yell about? We're going to have nothing to complain about if we take away robo umps. And it sounds great. Hindsight's yeah, okay. If that actually happens, I don't think people would like it as much as they would think. And we have Jake over here who's all arms up in the air like, oh, that's such a bad take. I think what they should do is, I think that they should have, like a strike zone that's like telling them like, hey, here's the call. That was a strike, by the way. You should call a strike, but still have umpires behind the plate because, like I said, you need umps behind the plate because I think they're just that big part of the game. Like it's a part of history having umps at the game. So, and their personalities, it's a factor of the game. It really is. So,
yeah, especially a guy like Angel Hernandez. Like for years, he wouldn't get postseason games because he was so bad at umpiring, so they wouldn't put him on the postseason. Yeah, but then whenever he wouldn't get any postseason games, he would complain and be like, "Oh, well, you're racially discriminating against me because I'm Latino, I'm Hispanic, and so that's why you're not putting me on the games, not because I suck at my job." So that was always funny to see too, out of Angel. It was kind of weird though. It was just like a very abrupt retirement here in the middle of the year, which is now the second big, like major abrupt retirement this year. The Yankees announcer John Sterling just abruptly retired in April, and now we have Angel Hernandez. So
Stantonio, Stantonio Blast guy.
Yeah, but so I wonder who's going to be the next one in June, the next random retirement. Mose White, maybe, maybe if we suck again. All right. I think that's it. We just have a little bit of a word. So obviously, I know we've been promoting the hell out of this lately. But it is Saturday, the hot dog eating contest, the much anticipated, I should say. I think we're gonna do a video here, but we do have the man himself competing in the competition this Saturday. In the room with us. So I think we're just gonna let him say a few words, a little preview speech.
I think so. I was thinking that we should do our predictions first, but now I kind of want to see if whatever Jake says moves my line in my head. Like if he, gets me fired up, then maybe I'll change. But we're gonna kick it over to Jake here. He's got a couple words to say about his 40 hot dog challenge.
All right, what's up, guys? I just got something real quick. First things first is I'm a patriot, and there's nothing more American than slamming 40 glizzies down your throat. And that's just why I'm gonna dominate this challenge. And I've been standing on business for it's almost been a year now. And when the game's on the line, that's when I'm in my prime. And that's why I'm getting this challenge. And I think it is going to be a mental toughness battle, but I'm so committed to this bid in a way. I'm committed to what is going on, and the job's going to get done. That's all I'm saying. Back to you, Cam.
Hold on. I have a question for you. have a question for you, Jake. So, do you have a strategy down? I know you're doing a little bit of prep here for this. Do you have a strategy down for how you're going to tackle these hot dogs to get to the 40?
Yeah, I've been researching. Cam knows this. We got lunch the other day. Didn't get a hot dog though. I've been researching. I think the way to go about this is we're just gonna take the first couple hours nice and easy. I'm just gonna. Oh, I did hear incredibly bad news today. It is supposed to rain and pour all day on Saturday, which kind of throws off my vibe because I was planning on sitting in a lawn chair and not really moving until I need to like jog off a couple hot dogs.
Well, the protection of Logan's porch.
True. Logan has a great porch for sitting outside in the rain. I forgot what the question was.
Strategy.
Oh, strategy. Take it nice and easy after the first couple hours, and then we're gonna do a quick reset almost, and take a look at where I'm at, and then I think after that, I start, and I might even take like a good 30 minutes, hour off if I like my line, if I like my number, but if I need to, I think, and it's gross and it's nasty, but I might have to start dunking some buns in water, and because I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with the hot dog part. You can get a hot dog down pretty easy. But also I've heard that maybe like getting the hot dog a little damp or getting the bun a little damp and rolling it into a ball, and then just because then it doesn't look as big. So I think it could change the mindset a little bit if it's like rolled into a tiny ball. So that's what I'm rolling with right now.
All right. I think probably the first 2 hours are going to be the most important. So
Not if he attacks it like this. Like he just said he's going to do it, though.
Yeah, but I don't like the first 2 hours. Like your stomach's fresh, you don't have any hot dogs in there. So, I think that if you get 15 hot dogs in the first 2 hours, okay. We'll see.
I'll say this because beforehand, you literally told me, you're like, there is no way in hell I'm dunking buns in water. You told me that, and I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gross to do that, so I can see why you don't want to do that. If you start from the jump dunking the buns, you will complete this challenge. You will.
Get ahead of the curve a little bit.
But if you just, I don't know, I feel like if you just start doing that maybe at the 4-hour mark or the 5th hour mark, I think it's it's good. That's when the mentals are going to kick in because you're going to be full already because the hot dogs and buns that you've already ate. And now all of a sudden you're switching it up on yourself a little bit and you got to start eating the grossest shit on planet Earth while you feel the worst that you felt in forever. So, that's just my take, though.
I'm thinking, okay, that's making me rethink it a little bit in that maybe I go backwards here in what I was thinking. Maybe I just try to grind out as many as I can in as quick amount of time as possible at the beginning, and then maybe just try to coast my way with some casual dogs from then on out, which I'm really glad you said that because it kind of changes the way that I'm thinking about this thing. But the one thing I am kind of worried about is that I really have no idea how to prepare my body in like the days before, because I've heard from very trusted sources that you shouldn't not eat because it could shrink your stomach. But also, how much do you want to eat? So that's going to be tough. But I think I might just go with my normal amount of food, at least on Thursday. Friday, I think I might maybe take it light and just a couple small meals. But then it'll probably get to Friday and I'll be like, fuck it. I'm just going with what I feel. So that's one of my biggest worries right now.
Yeah, and one thing I've actually heard as well is drinking a ton of water, I think, can expand your stomach. So you might want to start tackling that as soon as tomorrow, just to kind of, because hell, tomorrow you'll be about 72 hours out. So, or 40, I don't know. I can't do math, but
that'd be 48 hours.
But yeah, so maybe just hop on that. I'm curious, I'm gonna let Luke predict first.
Yeah, I want you to do this, Jake. I think it would be awesome if you got the 40 hot dogs, you stood on business, but that's a lot of even though it is 8 hours, that's still a lot of hot dogs. And like professional eaters struggle to get 40 hot dogs. Granted, it's in a lot less amount of time, but I mean, it's just a lot of food in there. So I want you to get it, but I'm thinking you'll probably end up somewhere around the 25 to 30 mark. I'll go 30 though. I'll go high on that one. I'll say 30. That could change between now and Saturday, but I'll go. Actually, I don't know. I feel like if you get that close though, you might just like power through it. So, okay.
Get to 30 and we're in.
I'll go 26. I'll go 26. Cam?
I've been on the same number pretty much since last year, and it really hasn't budged that much. I had a moment where I thought 19 was a good number, and that 19 comes off of a mental collapse. If Jake, where Jake has a great start, and then he gets sick, and then he just has to mail it in because he just feels so bad, which I can still see. But I have been sticking on 27 since last year, and I think that's what I'm gonna go with at into the challenge day. If Jake gets 27 hot dogs down, I'll still be proud of Jake, because that is still a hell of a fight.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
I'll just say this though: if Jake gets 40, it's going to be one of the best days of all of our lives. So
it will be electric.
This will be like getting married, having your first kid, Jake eating 40 hot dogs. Like that's where we're at. So
it'll be something you always remember. Like when we're at Jake's wedding, we'll probably tell the story of him eating 40 hot dogs.
Oh, we'll probably tell the story.
Oh, we'll tell the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if Jake eats 40 hot dogs, he won't go a week within his lifetime where he doesn't tell somebody the story about him eating 40 hot dogs in 8 hours. So,
a tough scene though that I do want to add is and something that I've also been thinking about is this could very easily be the last time in my life I eat a hot dog. So, and I kind of like hot dogs. I'm on the hot dog train, especially like at a ballpark or something. So I'm going to be sad if this is the last time in my life that I eat a hot dog.
Yeah, shout out Ron Mohiser. He said the same thing a day or two ago. He goes, there is no chance Jake is going to want to look at a hot dog for a calendar year after this challenge. And yeah, I would say that's probably about right. And you know what, Jake, though? That's something you got to know going in. Like, this is, all right, you know what? This is me and hot dogs' last dance together for a while. But I think you can be fine with that, though, if you get it.
I feel like we have hot dogs and fries like once a week at our house. It's just done.
Yeah, that would be a tough scene, but it's probably going to happen. So you just got to. That's just one more thing you got to prepare yourself for. But yeah, okay, there it is. So what? I think Luke said 26.
Yeah, he said 27.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
so pretty close together there.
Yeah, pretty even guesses.
So yeah, that's the show. So we're definitely going to post updates throughout the day on Saturday where Jake's at. We'll probably have some kind of video from the conclusion of what happened on Saturday as well. Won't be out on Saturday, probably won't be out on Sunday either, but you'll already know the results anyway from Twitter or something.
Yeah. Make sure to follow the socials, and then I think we are going to do a video just like capturing moments, during and after the competition and stuff, and as it's going along. So a little show special YouTube video maybe. And yeah, I guess we'll probably have a show next week too. I would imagine we're on a good streak here. So I guess everyone have a good week. Good luck to Jake, and we'll see you next week.